What's up guys, Nolan here, and things are absolutely about to get spicy whether it be in or out of game. There's a lot that could happen here very quickly, so I'll break that down along with some new details from Nikita that we'll go over as well. So BSG sent this tweet this morning. If you don't want to hear any speculation, then all you need to know is that the game will be down from 2 a.m. to around 6 a.m. EST tomorrow, possibly longer, and that's it. But now for some speculation, the last 3 times that BSG have done this, it's been the upload for an event in-game. It might not happen instantly once the servers are live, but what this could be, and in my mind likely is BSG uploading and preparing so that they can start a new event. Is it possible it's nothing that we'll actually see? Is it possible it's not special? Yes, that is totally possible. But again, the last 3 times that they've done this, and just many more times in the past, this has been them uploading an event. So if it is just a random event and not associated with Rizzy or Mechanic, then that could be the pre-wipe train leaving the station. However, there is a lot that can happen here. If it is involved with Rizzy or Mechanic or both, then due to the connections to Lightkeeper and the speed at which a new step in the event is dropping, then that points to something big happening very soon, while the only big thing expected to happen is this next patch, which is very likely to be a wipe. So if this next event step pops up tomorrow, I will be expecting to see this new patch in the next couple weeks, if not sooner, unless the event specifically points to something else, whether it be a day or a week or days or weeks or something like that. Now, depending on what the event is, I may not be able to post immediately, so if you want to get the absolute latest news, be sure to follow me on Twitter and or join the Discord, both linked below. We figure everything out together in the Discord, and then I essentially live tweet our progress. So to try and cover as many possibilities here, it's also possible that this is the team needing to take the servers down to reverse the changes that they did for the event that we have going now, or edit it in some way. Even if they edit it, if it's a significant edit, that might actually be a next step. So it depends on what happens. But again, this could be them ending this event that we have going right now. I can't remember a time they've had to do that, but it's absolutely possible. So in case it is nothing and they are just ending the last event, we still have some stuff to look forward to. Nikita did a Russian interview where we've translated the broad discussion. BSG said they're going to release their own transcript of the conversation as well. So when that does happen, I'll look for changes, and if there are any, I'll update you guys. Now, we do have to be very careful with the information that we're going to get from this, because yes, it is translated and was given the okay by 2 different fluent Russian speakers, but on either side or in the text, or maybe even just copy and pasting something, there can be problems, there can be issues, there can be mistakes that were made. So there absolutely should be a shroud of doubt over everything until we get that English transcript from BSG. However, I wouldn't be sharing this if I didn't think it was solid, so here we go. So right off the bat, this is going to get confusing. This is definitely going to be some stuff that we're going to want to see the English translation for. According to Nikita, the streets of Tarkov have been done for 3 years. The Tarkov dormitory district was planned as a separate location. He could be talking about town there. He could be talking about the, I don't know, some part of streets or something. He could be talking about a completely different map. Not completely sure there, but either way, I very much doubt that Streets of Tarkov has been done, just done for 3 years. That's just practically not a thing. I think there's some miscommunication here in terms of specific locations. The reason I am mentioning it though is, according to Nikita, something somewhere that has to do with streets is ready to go in some way, and apparently has been for 3 years. Again, for sure, this needs to be seen in English directly from BSG. The number of players and bots on the location is still being decided at this point. There are a lot of points of interest. Apparently, Nikita said that you could find 15 plus scavs in just one building sometimes. Now, to speculate on that a little bit, of course, it would be a very large building, but that is a lot of scavs. So again, according to this translation, Nikita said that he wants 100 players plus bots on the map. And he was talking about Streets of Tarkov. There's no way he would be talking about anything else there. Maybe open world, so as like a full server. But again, we are going to absolutely need to see that in English. If he was talking about streets, the player numbers that we have always gotten was around 40 to 50 at the absolute most. And now they're saying 100. Unless I am misremembering or I'm forgetting something, I again would very much like to see this directly from BSG in English before I get too excited. It's possible that this means 100 entities between players and AI. That would make a lot more sense. There will be no bosses in the first iteration. The APC taxi also will not be there, but the development is already underway for both of these. The BTR isn't expected to be a boss. Basically, it's an NPC until a player gains access to the weapons, in which case then it's just a player with a mobile large autocannon. And that is, again, if they end up doing the one with the autocannon, it could just be a machine gun. Entry to the lab location will not be in the first iteration of Streets. We knew this a while ago. For those who don't know, there will come a day where you won't be able to queue into labs. You will have to bring a key card with you to Streets or other locations that have access to labs, and then physically go there in order to go there. Apparently, there was a comparison of the APC taxi, which is the BTR, to work like a subway train, where for extra charge, the APC taxi will work the tower. I don't know what the tower is here. It might mean turret, but maybe it's something else. I think it means turret. I think that's going to be the weapons. The final version of Streets of Tarkov, which is not what we're getting with this next patch, we're just getting part 1, should be a compilation of all of the ideas and features of the game. So I would think that that means you can essentially fully experience everything that you can from the entire game in one location. Obviously, you can't complete the entire game by just being in this one location, but in terms of environment and the features involved with the location, it'll be all there. In the first iteration of Streets, apparently there will be some kind of limited extracts or something. Again, something we're going to definitely need to see in English. I think what this could mean is that they're going to be set extracts and that they won't be adding any new ones until we add the next layer of Streets, but we'll see. Destructibility and physics of items shown in these trailers where the walls are coming down and things are falling off shelves will be in other locations as well. Although if there is problems on release of part 1, they might turn it off. Destroying certain walls and some doors is still being worked on. Nikita mentioned maybe these objects will have their own health. Don't expect Battlefield level. They're just doing it as a separate option and a gameplay option. Rooftops of buildings will be closed to the public on the Streets location, where apparently Nikita said something along the lines of otherwise it will take 10 years to actually finish the location. He said snipers will be on rooftops, but Nikita doesn't know if it will be there in the first iteration or not. And I'm also assuming that those are just like the invisible snipers that kill you when you go outside the map. The first iteration of Streets is seen as a big test to understand and polish AI because there will be so many on that location, and apparently there will be a lot of location related tasks for Streets. In terms of arena, according to Nikita, quote, things are going well with the development. He also said information on the arena is coming soon, referencing a website, launcher, and other stuff being made. He said there will be a one-on-one mode, but it's a custom mode, like not ranked. He said there will not be a one-on-one ranked mode technically, where we don't seem to get an explanation to that, but ranked is only 5-on-5, so maybe they mean there's a way to queue solo or something, not sure there. They were talking about events where Nikita likes more hardcore events that require a lot of input and player interaction, where apparently he said, quote, the events should be shorter in time. So something to keep in mind here as we are probably going to be heading into some new events and then eventually pre-wipe events for this next patch, so keep that in mind. Nikita said that he liked the worldwide bottle event. There are ideas for this stuff in the future. Nikita wasn't involved in his creation though. It's being done by a separate team in BSG. I think that this is sort of a mistranslation, but they're essentially loot boxes, so we'll just call them loot boxes. The loot boxes, those containers that you can drag from the raid to your hideout to open it, will stay in the game, and the Halloween flare will stay in the game forever apparently. If that word scares you or you are otherwise interested, there will never be microtransactions in Escape from Tarkov. That was one of their foundation things. Apparently Nikita said perhaps with elite strength it will be possible to use Tagilla's hammer or scythe, and apparently he said they're still deciding whether they want to do this or not. The depth of this year's New Year's event will depend on BSG's free time from all the other patch tasks. There will be a New Year's event, but how different it will be from last year's will again depend on how much time BSG has to put towards it. Mines and mine sweepers are in development. We knew this, so there's actually a couple videos out there on that already. Apparently BSG want to do away with the simple exits, as most exits are now, where you simply just walk up and then you leave. Apparently Nikita said all exits will require some kind of action, items, etc. All of this will gradually change in game, but then there's another note here saying apparently there's exceptions, but the translation was weird, so we'll wait to see that in English. In the future, BSG want to introduce code doors and safes, which will require unique codes for each raid, things like that, similar to the things that can be found on labs. That right here might be a connection to our mysterious torn up metal door that we got several months back. We'll see what happens with that one there. All locations have not been put together yet in BSG, aka map to map travel isn't ready yet. However, the plan for one big map is still there. I think the translation there would probably be something like open world. So map to map travel isn't ready yet. That's one of the initial steps to get to open world, and open world is still the plan. Speaking of the plan, it is the plan to not have all locations be accessible at start. They will have to be discovered. We definitely already knew about this, and there's a lot of videos out there already. Apparently Nikita said no grappling hooks or climbing trees. They were talking about a weapon preset liking system where you can share it with others. The translation around whether or not it's actually being worked on was a bit sketchy, but at the very least Nikita did like the idea. Opening a door with a weapon in your hand, so like opening with the left hand and having a weapon in the right hand while you're opening it, is still planned, but no time frame on that one, so just soon TM. There's going to be a dust effect for when you get up off the ground or pick up items. Armor plate replacement when the system is introduced can be done directly in raid, so you will be able to swap plates in raid, confirmed there if the translation is correct. Advanced stats after a raid are not planned in patch 13, planned for the future, and apparently that was directly from Nikita. We knew about this, but I wanted to mention it because if it is translated correctly, then that's another potential slip up by Nikita, as patch 13 is the Streets patch. So if they are calling it patch 13, then that is another confirmation that Streets is ready to go. To be clear, BSG haven't said the exact words Streets will be in the next patch. In fact, they haven't said anything for any major change that we think is coming in in this next patch, but everything points to that being the case, at least for streets. Apparently, there's going to be new voices for Tagilla, the Goons, and Killa, where, according to Nikita, Killa will be wildly hilarious. There won't be any walkie-talkies yet. It's just being used in the trailer for Antlerman. That was a big thing that came up with that, so confirmation there, no walkie-talkies yet. Again, as long as this translation is correct, apparently huge changes to tasks are coming. Where the note here is, the way the tasks are unlocked, both PMC and Scav, much will be redone for the patch 13. Also, shuffle tasks with each other in places, etc. So even with a bit of a weird translation there, it seems clear that there is going to be significant changes to tasks in the game with this next patch, which they again also made a reference to patch 13. Here's a good one. Nikita has officially added the task of adding a cat to the hideout. When it's going to be implemented is not clear, but it is quote unquote a must for the team now. This is significant, but it makes a lot of sense. The mechanics of reading books and notes will be in the game as in Skyrim. It will give you experience for doing this, and to craft certain items in game you will need the knowledge from the books, with an example given, microelectronics. So what that sounds like is you won't be able to just craft things in your hideout once you have the ability to craft them in the hideout. Apparently you need to also find the book to learn how to craft those things. So that's a big one. That's a big one there. A universal key is planned for the lab location. It has charges and opens any door. Initially it was planned to be the black key card, but they don't know exactly when they're going to do it. A crowbar may be used to break into cars and doors in the future, along with several other melee weapons. We've heard a lot about that in the past. There's actually a couple videos talking about that, as well as blowing open doors. They're working on a lock for certain items in your stash so that they don't move when you auto sort, assuming you can choose which items are locked and which aren't. Then last but not least, they said that at peak times, Tarkov gets 250 to 300,000 players globally. I do not know if that's daily or annually or what, but hopefully they clarify that in the English transcript. Again, so there is no doubt whatsoever, this was all translated, so there could be some errors in there, and when BSG released the English one, I will look for any changes and let you guys know. Also, with how this worked is there was someone that was taking notes, and then those notes were translated, so there could have been something that that person missed as well. Again, once we get the new thing, I'll let you guys know. So let me know what you guys think of the stuff that we've talked about today. Let me know what you think is going to happen tomorrow, but that is going to be it for today, guys. I will be up bright and early to see what's going on with this patch tomorrow. Remember to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both linked below, for minute-to-minute stuff, as I can't always get a video out soon after an event starts because I will literally be needing to play it or figure it out. So that's where you're going to find that stuff. But if you liked this video, there's a button for that. Subscribe for more like it. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.